Hi book besties, my name is Maite and welcome to this new video. In this video I'm going to give you some book recommendations, romance book recommendations, because these are only romance. Because one person asked me if I had recommendations and I was like, let's make a whole video out of it. My original plan was to do like 7-ish books. Well, that didn't really work out. I think I have like double. So welcome to this video and let's just start. I have a stack here with all books that would make perfect rom-coms, and I feel like these books are rom-coms as well. So the first one is a classic. One of the first books that I have ever read when I got into reading. As you can see by these tabs sticking out. Can you see that? How far they are sticking out? It's far. But it's The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas, and I am obsessed with this book. I literally love it so much. It's about two co-workers, Catalina and Aaron, and she has to go to a wedding in Spain because she's Spanish. And she has, like, her ex is also there and she wants to bring a date to the wedding, but she doesn't have one, obviously. And then her colleague Aaron overhears her talking to her best friend in a cafe and says, I will be your fake boyfriend. And obviously things happen later on, and there are some specific scenes that I still remember so hard from this book and so clearly. And I love them so much. So definitely this one, Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. So the next book is also a book that I read pretty early when I got into reading, and it's The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I think pretty much everything by Ali Hazelwood and everything by Elena Armas could perfectly be a rom-com. They both write such a cute stories, rom-com-ish stories, but these two are just my favorites, so I picked those two. And this, again, is a fake dating. It's about Olive, who is a third-year PhD candidate, but she doesn't believe in long-lasting romantic relationships, but she wants to convince her best friend. But she wants to convince her best friend that she is on the way to a happily ever after. So she kissed the first person that she saw, which happened to be Adam, a professor in the school where Olive goes. Was that a correct sentence? I'm not really sure, so sorry. And he actually agrees to be her fake boyfriend for a while. And again, there are some scenes that I clearly remember, which says enough because I don't really remember a lot of scenes, but I do from those two books, which are amazing. And then I have another one by Ali Hazelwood because this one had me giggling and kicking my feet, actually. And it's Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Once again, it's about Elsie. She's a professor by day, and how should I say this? She offers services as a fake girlfriend during like the evening and during the night. Like when people get asked by their family if they have a partner at the moment, and people don't want to answer that question, so they hire her, and she like changes into a person, changes like her hobbies and changes her last name, changes her job. You know, like when she introduces herself to the family of her client for the night, she like changes all of these things so that they don't know who she really is. And there she meets Jack, who is the brother of her favorite client, and they meet, and he is the one who is standing in the way of her and her dream job. So yeah, again, I love this book so much. Ali Hazelwood really does it. And then I have a book about a wedding, and it's The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. And I say that it's about a wedding and the title says X, so that's really weird. But it's two exes who have a mutual best friend, and they are organizing and planning the wedding, but everything is like going wrong. So they end up going to a new location where the wedding is going to be, because the previous location, something happened with that. So they are at the new location and they are like planning the wedding, completely planning the wedding. They have a list of things they want to do, and he was a bit of a workaholic and missed his best friend bachelor, so he feels guilty. So now he wants to go all in and really help plan the wedding, alongside his ex-girlfriend. Then I have a book which is part of a series, but I think you can perfectly read this one as a standalone. I think most of these are series, but you can also read them as standalones if you don't mind like spoilers from other characters. This one is the third book in the When in Rome series by Sarah Adams, and it's Beg, Borrow or Steal, and it came out I think a few months ago now. Is that right? I think it came out like this winter, maybe January, that is possible. But it's about the oldest Walker sibling, Emily, and she's a teacher and is secretly writing a book. And her colleague and legendary nemesis Jack moves back into town after moving away for a few years. He moves back into town right next door. And he's also her colleague. I don't know if I've said that. But they work at the same school, and he secretly is a best-selling author under a pen name, so nobody knows who he is. So when one night Emily accidentally sends her manuscript to their boss, she only knows one person that can help her to go break into the house. Well, not really break in because they have a key, and try to delete the email from their boss's account while he is on vacation. And I don't know, I feel like Sarah Adams, she has such a good books, rom-com books, and I love this story so much. This was everything to me. So definitely a recommendation. Bound to You by Bridie Charles. I have said a lot about this book on my channel before. I have said a lot of things on my Instagram before, but I love this book and the series so much. The third book is coming out in June, I think June 9th. I would have to check, but look at this cover. Don't tell me that isn't gorgeous, because it is. The second book also came out in February. Also love that, but I don't have the paperback yet. So this book is about Isla, and she moves with her best friend May to a small town in Italy. Their car breaks down and there's a hot man coming, like driving on the street where their car broke down in a Ferrari. And he's like, do I have to drop you guys off or something? And May is like, yeah, of course. And Isla's like, well, I don't know, stranger danger and all that stuff. So he gives them a ride into a small town called Ruby Cove. He is a workaholic, self-proclaimed, owning the most popular hotel in Ruby Cove. And he offers them, like Isla and her best friend May, a free room in his hotel for as long as they need. And obviously things happen, they get along really well, and what is that bird doing? Like, honestly, they get along really well and they hang out with Kaio's friend group and have like this entire found family thing going on. So I love this book so much. 5 stars, easy 5 stars. I feel like this could also be like half rom-com, not really rom-com, but you know what I mean. And it's Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This is an accidental pregnancy book, but don't write it off because it is perfect. I haven't really read a lot of accidental pregnancy, one night stand books before, but this is one of the good ones. This was the easiest 5 stars that I have ever given a book. I knew it from the first 50 pages that this was going to be a 5 star, which honestly is amazing. Do I have to close my window because I'm sorry if you can hear the birds in the background. So this book is about Win, who has a limb difference, and her best friend Sarah is throwing a Halloween party. I don't really remember what she was dressed as, but as at the party she met Bo, who is Sarah's partner, like Win best friend's partner. Caleb? Yeah. So Bo is Caleb's co-worker, and he also has a limb difference. I think he is an amputee, yeah. As you can see on the cover. They end up having a one night stand and accidental pregnancy, and this book really shows you all the way through like the journey of a pregnancy which wasn't planned and which also gives you a lot of worries. But I really love this book. It is so cute and really amazing. So definitely a recommendation. Then I have another kind of fake dating, I think, as much as I can remember. And it's Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. It is also a part of a interconnected standalone series, but can perfectly be read as a standalone. So this book is about Brianna, who just got divorced, is working at a hospital. Her brother's running out of time to find a kidney donor. And she was going to get promoted, but then her boss wants to give it to the new doctor in town, Jacob. And oh my god, I love these. I love these. I love these. They don't really get along well in the beginning of the book because he has anxiety and she runs into him and is like a bit of a, well, unpolite first meeting maybe, because she is under a lot of stress because her brother is at the hospital and she's running out of time to find him a kidney donor. That is until Jacob hears from his best friend that Brianna's brother needs a kidney, and he is actually a potential donor, so he decides to donate her brother his kidney, and she wants to do something in return, so they end up fake dating. It's a lot of I don't know how to say this, but I love this book so much. I love the way the anxiety was portrayed too, which is so good. So when Jacob turns out to be the perfect donor for her brother, Bree starts to realize that this quietly sexy new doctor might just be her perfect match too. This book has so many cute scenes. Like, he writes her a letter to apologize that he was being mean or like impolite when they first met, and they end up exchanging notes and letters, and I love it. It's so cute. Definitely 5-star read. Then I have books by a certain author. Again, part of a series because this author only has series mostly. But I've said a lot about this book, I've said a lot about this author, and I will never stop because I love it so much. And the first book from this author that I will always recommend is Redeemed, and it's also a fake dating. I think we're sensing a pattern here. That's cool. So it's about Chloe, who is on the hunt to find her biological father, and she ends up in Italy. Why is it always Italy? She ends up in Italy, and she is climbing a tree in a random backyard, and well, not really random because she believes that the backyard belongs to the house from her biological father. But hey, it isn't. She falls out of the tree, and then there comes a Formula One driver that is currently still recovering from an accident, which you can read in, which book was it? Yeah, just the beginning of this book is a prologue. And he's like, what are you doing in my house, in my garden, in my tree? These damn paparazzis trying to get everything everywhere, you know? So she leaves, but he still has her phone. So the next day she goes back, climbs the tree again, gets actually inside the house and tries to take her phone, but then she is stopped because he is standing in front of her with his sister and her partner. You know? So his sister is like, why are you exactly in my brother's home, like entering by the window? And her brother's like, well, you know how you've been so worried about me, how I've been doing after my accident? Well, I actually have a girlfriend and this is her. So they end up fake dating too. And yeah, I love it. This book has my heart. For real, I love it so much. All of these books have my heart. I love it. He also is an amputee. Yeah, one mistake destroys his career. He goes from most eligible bachelor to monster hiding from the world, at least until Chloe breaks into his house. His new fake girlfriend is a temporary fix to his biggest problem, but as her game changes, so do his feelings. There's only one issue stopping him from claiming her, and that's himself. Love that. Yes. Then the other book by this author is Love Unwritten. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll never stop, but this book is amazing. All of these books are amazing, by the way, that's why they are in this video. But this book is a single dad / nanny romance in, again, a small town. Raphael is a grumpy boss, grumpy single man. Ellie is a cheerful musician who used to have a secret crush on Raphael in high school. So yeah, he hires her to watch his son and teach him music. Yeah, and they go on this trip together where obviously things change, things progress, and And I love that both of these characters have so much background too, which really adds to the story. You would say that this book is really thick and has a lot of pages, but every page is necessary in this book. I have not read a single page in this book where I think like, well, that could have been deleted. No, everything adds to the story and everything adds to the characters, which I love. And I love some of these quotes in them. It's just like a rom-com kinda, but also just really good book. So yeah, Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. Then I have another author which I really love. Again, I have every book on her biography, on her backlist, and it's Elsie Silver. Is it really a surprise? No, it isn't. First, I have two books from her first ever series called Gold Rush Ranch, and this is book 2 and book 3, which I am obsessed with. Yeah, I love this. I love this. I love this. So this book is about two people, Violet and Cole, who end up having to live together. She races racehorses, and she has an accident where she ends up having to live in the house where Cole is currently staying, while he's visiting his brother at like their family ranch. But he's like the city man, businessman, you know, that kind of thing. So he's like not really having a lot of great memories to that ranch because their father passed away, and he's like kind of grumpy, kind of silent, you know, the type. So he is staying at like the family house, but Violet also has to like live there for a while after her accident because she was staying at like the attic above the stables, but because it was with the ladder, she couldn't really like go up the ladder because of her injury. So her best friend is saying like, you can stay at the family house with Cole, but they don't know, like her best friend doesn't know that Violet and Cole actually know each other. It's everything and more. And this book is my favorite. Actually, I feel like my voice is annoying because I'm so excited about all of these books, and when I'm excited my voice like really does weird things, so I'm sorry for that. But this book is again amazing. It's about Myra and Stefan. Stefan is the misunderstood man in the town, and Myra is the vet, actually. And they end up making like a deal because Myra works for a ranch, Gold Rush Ranch, from this book and the previous book, like book 1 in the series, and they need a horse where like how do you say, the foal can stay, because I think the horse passed away or the foal passed away. Oh no, the horse passed away, so they are looking for another horse where the foal could stay for a while to like grow up and stuff, you know? So Myra's like, I know the perfect place. You don't want to hear this because, like I said, nobody really likes Stefan for some reason. And Stefan has been asking Myra out for a long time. She always thought that it was a joke, so she never really accepted. So when Myra asked Stefan if the foal could stay at his ranch, he's like, fine, but you are going on 3 dates with me. So they end up going on some dates. He ends up being her fake boyfriend for one of them. And again, things happen, things progress, and I really, really love those. So those two books, actually the entire series is amazing, but this are my favorites. Then I have another book from another series by Elsie Silver, and it's the most hated one for some reason. I don't really get why exactly, because if I see like some of those ratings that people post on TikTok with all of the Elsie Silver men or books, this one always comes last, or like the last positions, and I don't get it because it's definitely one of my favorite, and it's hopeless. Again, a fake dating, fake marriage, fake engagement kind of thing. So I would say that fake dating is definitely one of my favorite tropes. And I honestly don't think you can do very wrong with a fake dating romance. So it's about Bo. He is the oldest Eaton brother. By the way, I forgot to mention that Violet from book 2 in the Gold Rush Ranch series is also an Eaton. She's the Eaton sister who you get to know in the Chestnut Springs series, but this series came before the Chestnut Springs series. So a lot of people know her but don't know that she has a book too. So this is her book. And it's amazing. So, what I was saying. Bo is the oldest Eaton brother. He is 35, all men. And she is what's her name again? Bailey. Bailey is a bartender, outcast, shy girl from the wrong side of tracks. Nobody in the small town likes her. Everyone disrespects her. That is when Bo sees that people disrespect her, she's like, well, I don't really have a good last name because people know my family and people know that my brother and my father are criminals. So they don't respect me purely for that reason. And Bo is like, well, I'm not really believing that. And then they end up being fake engaged because they have a bet that if she is engaged to him, who is a part of a really loved family in a small town, people will treat her better and with more respect. So they end up fake engaged. So yeah, I really, really love that book so much. Definitely one of my favorites, and I don't get why people hate it so much. And then I have two books by an author who is really popular, not really rom-com vibe, because all of her books have a deeper topic and deeper subjects, harder subjects. And the first book is Happy Story, and it's, again, you guessed it right, a fake dating. It's about Harriet and Win. They are in the same friend group, and they are going on one last vacation to the vacation house that is being sold, with their friend group, but nobody knows that they have broken up. So they decide to pretend that they are still dating in the friend group. They cannot, they don't want to tell their friends that they have broken up because that will ruin their vacation. And since it's their last summer together, last summer at the vacation house, they don't want to ruin that simply by telling them that they have broken up, so they pretend to be dating still, and really love it. Emily Henry, this was my first book that I've read by her, actually, and I loved it so much. Immediately bought all of her other books, but definitely my favorite. Again. Okay, I'm back. I had to charge my camera for a little bit because the battery died. What's new? But what I was saying is the last book of this video is another one by Emily Henry. Again, one of the newer books, not the newest, but the one that released last year, and it's A Funny Story by Emily Henry. I want to tell you about this book, but you have to get comfortable because this relationship between all of the different characters is a bit of a tough one. So it can be complicated to understand at some moments, but it all makes sense when you read the book. So this book starts with Daphne, who is in a relationship with Peter, and Peter is best friends with Petra. Petra is Peter's childhood bestie, you know, stuff. And one day, Peter breaks up with Daphne because he realized that Peter and Petra want to be in a relationship together. And when Peter breaks up with Daphne, he's like, I am going on this vacation with Petra for a while, and when I get back home, I want you moved out of this home because it is mine. And Daphne's like a little bit of panic because she doesn't really know what to do because she doesn't really have anything. And that is when Peter and Petra drive off into their vacation, and she's like standing outside the door. 2 minutes later, Miles knocks on her door, and Miles is Petra's ex. Like, they were together, but Petra broke up at the same time that Peter broke up with Daphne. Petra broke up with Miles and said like the same thing, that she wanted to be with Peter and they are going on a vacation, you know, stuff. And then Daphne tells Miles like, hey, you have a room free now, right? Because Petra's moving out of Miles and Petra's apartment. And Miles like, yeah. So they end up living in an apartment together. They end up posting some misleading pictures that makes Peter and Petra believe that they are together now. And honestly, I love this book. It is very cute. It could be a very good movie. I don't know if it is being turned into a movie because a lot of Emily Henry books are, but I'm not really sure if this one is one too. I just love the way Funny Story and Happy Place were written. I love their stories, I love the characters, I love the storyline and how the story goes. And it's really cute. I love it really much. So that was the video. Those are all the recommendations that I will always give to a person, all the romance recommendations at least. I felt like my recommendations needed an update. So now that that happened, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you will get some recommendations out of this video. Sorry for the chaotic video that this one was. Sorry for some weird explanations about the book. I hope you got some things out of it anyway. And if you did, please like this video, subscribe because it helps my channel a lot. Comment if you will read a book and which one. And yeah, so we can chat about it. So yeah. Anyways, hope you enjoyed and I'll see you next week. Bye!